Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're just going to take a minute, let everybody get in here, get their audio connected. I see some familiar names. Welcome, Teresa Baird. Welcome, Stephen, Brandon. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Oh, Craig. Hello. Good morning.
Morning, Kathleen. Hope
Good
everything's going
morning.
well on your side.
Yeah, everything's great. We have some amazing guests, so I'm excited to jump in. Jenny's here, Michelle Goodridge. I think I saw Kemi here, but I can't see her name now, but I did see her. Welcome, Kemi. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we are going to get started. Kathleen Black International is pleased to host today's mastermind. We've been doing these at this point monthly. We have a dog in the house. We've been doing these monthly and had amazing guests. So we are so excited for the guests that we have with us today. So I'm going to play a little bit of a video so you understand what we do if you're new to Kathleen Black International. And what we do is support high achievers in moving up in their success, whether that's as an individual, as a team, or for our iconic brand leaders.
Every time I invest in coaching, I have way more than a 10x return. And 80% of our clients, data driven, have that as well. You're tapping into a top 1% mindset. I ran the first team specific coaching company in real estate in Canada. This has been my entire world. We need to have leadership, technology, and our operators on the field in alignment. So things need to be really crystal clear of how do we provide value at every single step of the way. We're in a time where everything is packaged. But once you get into the elite space, you need somebody to come in, look into that business, and help you see it from a bird's eye perspective. I always say the person you're coaching with, do you aspire to be like them? Do you enjoy their values, right? Do you feel aligned with them? Because essentially you're trying to create the path that they've carved for you. Our clients who had the most results went from 25 deals to 550. The ISA departments that have 300 firm deals. We help them learn how to pay their team members and how to onboard and train those people who do 1,000 deals a year plus. Those people got there because they had expert one-on-one advice with the right coaches who had the genius to help them. So we're bespoke. Every time.
So welcome if you're new to our community, new to joining us for Mastermind. We are excited to have you here. We have three amazing guests with us today from our client community, but also very well known in our real estate community overall in GTA and now internationally. So in a minute, I will be introducing first Melissa Douglas. We'll hear a bit of her journey. We'll hear when Mercedes Nicol kind of came into the brokerage and the team. And then we'll also hear from David Hutchinson or Dave Hutch, depending how you refer to him, for his amazing transition out of GTA into international real estate. So we are so thrilled to have all of you joining us today. And I wanted to start off before I brought Melissa formally in and talk about a little bit with the journey for both Dave and Melissa. They were both really looking for clarity. And I think all of us as leaders, particularly this year, I try to say this year is the year of the great change. You know, people are making massive transitions, not only in where they live, how they do business, you know, whether they're going international, like Melissa, Mercedes, and Dave had done, or they're shifting their business, they're shifting who they work with, they're shifting their brands. There's so much change this year. And some of that change is positive. Some of that change comes from clarity. Some of that change comes from a lack of clarity. And we're seeing that, you know, if we're struggling, we don't have clarity where we are now, we bring that with us when we go to a new brand or a new team or a new brokerage. So clarity is always the most important step to make sure we can trust, you know, the changes and the expansions that we're making for ourselves. And so this was something that Melissa had shared with us at the start of her coaching career. So Melissa, I'm going to introduce you so people formally know, and you have an extensive bio, so I will read some of it. There have always been two passions driving Melissa Douglas's professional journey: the law and the world. Melissa is the founder of Douglas Law Firm and co-owner of Mira International Realty, and we'll hear what that term or name means in a little bit. Her career seamlessly integrates these passions. Melissa's academic journey began at York University. She has an honors bachelor in arts in history. She later earned her LLB from the University of Sussex in the UK, immersing herself in the European cultures and landscapes. In 2018, Melissa and her husband, Kevin, founded Douglas Law Firm in Bradford, expanding swiftly into Barrie and also into Vaughan. With a team of 17 professionals, they practice family law, real estate law, wills and estates, and some corporate and commercial matters as well, dedicated to meeting their clients' diverse needs. As co-owner of Mira International Realty, Melissa now leverages her legal expertise to enhance their full spectrum of real estate services, ensuring transactions are both profitable and legally sound. Very important. Mira offers comprehensive services, including residential and commercial sales in Ontario and now internationally. Melissa's global perspective informs every aspect of her practice, enabling her to navigate international transactions with cultural sensitivity and strategic insights. Welcome, Melissa. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, absolutely. It's always a pleasure, because part of these journeys is we get to celebrate and acknowledge you and the work you've done and the growth you've had, and we also get to help other people to speed up their growth, patterns or journeys, with the insights you've learned. So thank you so much for joining us. And I want to start off with just sharing, because this was from the first conversation that you and I ever had, when I asked a question that I ask of all potential members of our community. And I said, what would need to happen in the next 6 months, not 12 months, not 18 months, the next 6 months, for you to have a glowing review, recommend us to anybody, be absolutely ecstatic with what you've seen in your life and your business. And your answer was this: having that clarity, actually getting started, taking that step, getting my first deal, understanding my path and moving forward. And Melissa, do you remember where you were at? That was in April 2023, so not that long ago.
Yes, I remember. I was struggling. I knew I absolutely love real estate so much, but I wanted clarity on where I was going to take that passion. And I thought it was going to be, doing residential here, which obviously I love. I do real estate law, but I just felt like something was missing, and I didn't want to do the regular transaction of buying and selling here in GTA. I wanted to do something different, and I was really confused and just trying to find myself and find where I wanted to take that passion. So getting the clarity probably did take me about 6 months, but I finally did find it. And it was more of having going real estate globally. So we started now with Mexico, which we're going to get into, but it was finding that path, which I eventually did find, and through the help of your coaching.
Yeah, well, I think any leader, oh my goodness, that is kimchi barking in the background. I think any leader is like every 6 months we're, renewing clarity, sometimes every quarter if it's a really hard year. So we all relate to that for sure. And I'm going to go through a little bit of your growth journey. We'll do it a little bit quicker, because I want to make sure we have time to share the amazing work that yourself, Mercedes and Dave, or David, I keep saying both, are doing south of the border, and get into that. So how did we become this? How did we get international? How did we get to the place that we actually were crossing borders? I mean, both of you, all of you, function associated with the GTA. I mean, Toronto is the world's largest real estate board. We have the most members. We have the most licensed representatives. I mean, there's an amazing amount of competition, also collaboration and camaraderie, but it's a difficult market for sure. So for many, just navigating the local market, let alone moving out, is a lot. So both of you have gone through this journey. And with us, we like to always point out, we go from a solopreneur, hopefully, to the expansion phase, where we actually build out our systems, our tools, so that we have a foundation before we go into that teampreneur space. And I think you both have a unique journey on that we'll talk about in a second. And I always include that high performance is a team sport. This idea that as leaders, we're hyper independent and willpower overcomes everything is one of the quickest ways to burn out, to be frustrated, to fail. You know, our environments are indicative of our successes, but also of our failures. So I'm a big believer, you know, 15 years coaching, that everything is co-creation. Everything is working with our communities, which is really important. So Melissa, when you started working with us, you came onto the Relentless to Rise program, part of our community, which is specifically for individuals. They're saying, hey, this coaching is just for me. It's not for my team or for anything else. It's just for me as an individual. And I went back to look at some of the goals that you set when you first came into coaching. And we've talked a little bit about this, you know, getting clarity was really, really important for you. And I noticed you said you tried writing out a now, a middle, and an end, and you had done your letter from the future. And it's interesting that you said it completely shifted as you got more and more clear. And do you think tell us a little bit about that? Because you didn't end up to go into the residential section. Do you think your vision changed as you got more clarity on what you loved and where your skill set fit, or was it for other reasons?
I think it was just for me getting that clarity. I kind of took like a month and a half-ish off to just kind of clear my mind because we also went away. So I think after I came back and I just had more of a clear head, I realized I don't want to do real estate here. Not that I don't like it. I do it every day of my life on the legal end. But for me, when it comes to selling, I want to sell abroad. And I just love traveling. I love leaving Canada. And that was my passion. I just wanted to do real estate, not here. I wanted to do it abroad.
Fair. I mean, I think I share the passion. I love leaving Canada, but my problem so far is I also really like coming back to Canada. So there's that, like finding the positioning. I think we can have the best of both worlds. That is for sure. So we have the goals, and a lot of them was very specific. Hey, we need to get clear, right? What are we doing with this? Where is it going to go? And that led to some specific systems that I know we collaborated on with you. And the first was that inside out method. And for anybody listening, that's a system I've worked on and we've created and we've used literally for all of the years of coaching, because it allows a connection between our unconscious and conscious mind, and it disrupts us from what we think we should be doing, or these, I call them, you know, the treadmill, the hamster wheel that some of us find ourselves on. And we're like, oh, wait, I got on this hamster wheel to do something really important, but I actually achieved that a long time ago and I forget why I'm still here, right? So it's disruptive to say, okay, wait, what's your most important dream destination now? That's actually an alignment, because for most people, the more successful they get, the less successful they feel, because they get pulled in hundreds or thousands of different directions. So I know for you, Melissa, I just want to highlight that you went through, when we're talking about taking the time to get clarity, we used a certain approach for you to do that. And the secondary priority at the time, I went back into our notes, was to get you selling, get clients, because I think at that time we thought it would be more the residential resale side, right? That you'd build up and that you'd get into an admin. But obviously we know things change. So we're going to move past that. So 3 pillars, inside out, we get clarity, put some systems in place, and then work on getting to the point to optimize them. So you went through those steps, you got clear on your avatar. I also want to congratulate you because you took some time off. You alluded to it, but you got married last year. Congratulations.
Thanks.
In beautiful Santorini, correct?
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah. It is amazing. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. So tell us a little bit more for everybody listening to this. What other, for you, if somebody's listening to this right now and they're saying, hey, like I'm at a crossroads, I don't know if I need something new, I don't know if I need to dive down further. How did you feel or experience moving through the steps to get more clarity? And how would you define where you're at now? Like, what do those results feel like for you?
So to be honest, when I knew what I wanted to do, which was international real estate, it was around the same time you had, and I don't think I ever told you this, but it was a time where you had that presentation in Niagara, and I could only make it for one day. And I almost didn't go, but I went.
Yeah.
And at that presentation, I met, through you, Sabina. I also met Kate, and they really helped me also get clarity on what I'm doing. Sabina helped me with my branding, and again, to also steer me into that international market and know what I want to do. So those were key people that I met through your coaching, and going to that event. And right after that, it kind of just snowballed. Me and Mercedes met up. We went to Mexico together because she wanted to show me what she had going on there. And once I went to Mexico, I just fell in love. And then it just really snowballed after that.
So successful law practice already, you know, from the outside, very, very successful, getting into a new career, now building a brokerage, going to this international space. And I want to make sure, first acknowledging you, because that is amazing. And I think many people would say, well, you had a successful business, but I think we have callings as leaders and entrepreneurs, and having that joy and feeling alive and momentum is really important for a lot of entrepreneurs. So I commend you for taking brave steps. I also want to point out, just in case you're listening, you're not sure, Melissa's referring to what used to be Ultimate Team Summit, and then we made it Kathleen Black Summit because everyone called it that anyway. And Sabina Malik is a brand creator. She works her magic there. And Kate Tevez is actually an amazing owner of HR Pro. She's also one of our extended, you know, we call them expert coaches, because she comes in to support a lot of our community members on HR hiring support. We work with Kate. These are two fantastic, fabulous leaders. So thank you for pointing them out, Melissa, for sure. So I want to take a second to talk about the next, before I go on to that next screen, to talk about the next step. So first of all, Mercedes, I want to introduce you and welcome you so we can hear a little bit about this evolution. So Mercedes is co-owner and broker of record of Mira International Realty, over 7 years in the industry, and a foundation built on 9 years at a real estate law firm. Mercedes brings extensive knowledge to every transaction, has a heartfelt dedication in guiding her clients towards real estate success. And your academic journey includes postgraduate degree in history from York University, complemented by extensive global travel, significant focus on Mexico. So welcome, Mercedes. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah. So tell us, like, from your perspective, we're seeing Melissa on this trajectory and she's getting everything organized, and then you guys get together. What happened? Why did you guys choose to take this on, and where are you at now?
So I was at Royal LePage for a pretty long time. Then actually, it's funny. Let me backtrack. So how Melissa and I met, my mom was actually a law clerk at one of her law firms. So she kind of, we knew each other, but we didn't really get to know each other very well. And then my mother was like, you got to go down, you got to go together, go to Mexico, go meet each other. And they ended up coming down. And we were into the specific place where we're now selling. And then she fell in love with it. I am already in love with it. But what happened was we just started like brainstorming and creating all these ideas. And Melissa's like, we have to open up a brokerage. We have to. Nobody can tell us what to do. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's go 100% into it. And Melissa really pushed us in that direction. And then we're here. We created Mira International after that vacation. I think it was maybe like 3 months after we left. And then in May, it went live. And then we're here now selling internationally in Mexico, and I'm still primarily focused down here as well in the GTA. But we just aligned and we had a vision, and we have this niche market that we want to present to our clients. So now we're here on Kathleen Black's Mastermind with Dave Hutch.
Here we are, winning together. Yes. So I love it. So you come from a strong brand. I mean, Royal LePage's strong brand,
Yes.
strong foundation, to build your business for sure. And then Melissa, tell me from your perspective, because you're with us, right? You're in our individual level community, and then you guys combine. Now you're working together, you know, and structuring your compensation and all of your structures. You're in the industry icon team side. But for those listening, because I mean, honestly, I've done hundreds and hundreds of calls over the years with people who are contemplating a partnership, right? And sometimes those partnerships are amazing. Sometimes they aren't because they don't have, again, that clarity, right? Who's going to do what and strength. So for those people listening, what did you see in Mercedes? Like, what advice would you give? What steps have you taken to make sure that you guys are amplifying your business and the partnership's going to help you grow?
To be honest, and she knows this too. I don't like partnering with people usually, even within my law firm. It's just really hard to find somebody that will work as hard as you and care as much about your business as you do. That's very rare, in my opinion, to find. And when we met and just started talking about everything, I see how hard she works. And we just had the same ideas. We wanted the same things, and everything was it was the right synergy. So I just think we get along well. We're always on the same page. And it just worked, which for me is very rare. That's what I think.
I think that's great advice. Yeah, and that's a whole other mastermind. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it is great advice to really assess our partnerships carefully. I always say, like, it's like a marriage, but you're in business. I mean, divorcing in business and publicly is not easy, right? Going through all of those things, that is for sure. Okay, so on this note, we're going to move forward. I'm going to be able, and thank you for that. I'm going to circle back because we definitely want to hear about what you're doing in Mexico. So we're going to circle back for that shortly. And I want to go up in our journey because I'm going to introduce Dave, who came in to work with us on the top 1% part of our community, which is where you're building those foundations, you're building those systems. And I'm excited to share, for Dave to share and to support sharing Dave's journey, because he's made some really brave changes. And I think he's made some brave changes that sometimes we hesitate on, or some people, you know, they're just unsure of where to go. So I think it'll be really helpful to go through this. So David Hutchinson's career is marked by dedication and adaptability. Initially a talented hockey player, David became a Toronto firefighter in 2015. His career then took a turn towards real estate, where he successfully balanced both professions. David transitioned fully into real estate, founding the Avant Group, a team of 22 agents. We're going to hear about that, dedicated to excellence and mutual support, now focusing on sales in both Mexico and Canada. He's also involved in real estate development in Tulum, Mexico, recognized among Toronto's top 1% in real estate. David continues to expand his influence and success in the industry. Welcome, David. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Did I write that? That was good. Did you write that?
It's
I don't know.
yeah.
Whoever wrote that, I need a copy of that immediately. That's good.
We'll send it back to you, no problem. So thank you for being here. And I want to start out because, I mean, some people know my entire family are or were firefighters. So I know this industry really well, to a sense, like as a outsider, but family being in it. Literally my grandfather, my dad, my mom, my sister, like her husband is brought, like they're all firefighters, right? I'm the weird duck. So it's a career that not a lot of people leave. And I think we see people getting into real estate who are part-time, and maybe they have a career that's not considered, right, as stable as being a firefighter, and they struggle to come over. So I want to start there. Like, how did you fall in? I fell into real estate. Like, how did you get into real estate, and what made you be brave enough to make that big of a transition?
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know if anyone wakes up as a younger person and you know, dreams of being a real estate agent. I think it's something that we all kind of fall into maybe later in life. I was trying to be a firefighter forever. I finally got hired when I was like 24 years old, which forced me to move to Toronto, which was a blessing. As a full-time firefighter in Toronto, there's no such thing as like part-time. It's full-time, and that's the only option. You work 24-hour shifts, and you do that about twice a week. So you work about 8 shifts a month. So with that being, I gotta maybe be careful a little bit what I say, but you have a lot of free time off the job, and depending on where you're working, I was downtown Toronto, so my time was limited, but we still had some free time at the station as well. So a lot of people had side businesses that they would do on their days off. And when I moved to Toronto, my neighbor, she drove a really cool car. She had really cool clothes. She had a better condo than me, and she seemed to have a better life than me. And so we became friends, and she one day was like, "You need to work for me. I think you could be a good real estate agent. And I, at the time, was like, you couldn't pay me money to be a realtor, like no chance. And then, yeah, my first month in real estate, I did like 27 lease deals, which was a different market than we're in now, but it was crazy. And I never looked back. And then to change out of firefighting, like you said, firefighting is a career that most people think they won the lottery, and it's an incredible career. It's amazing. It's salary for life. You have great benefits, a good pension. But for me, I've always had that entrepreneurial itch to me. And being a firefighter, seeing my schedule literally till the day that I retired, they're like, this is August in 2040. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sit well with me. That's scary. I also like to travel a lot, and it kind of hindered with where I wanted to take my business. And I originally started doing a 6-month leave, where I realized that, you know, I was able to put so much more into my real estate business. In that 6 months, I made a really good amount of money. And I was like, okay, well, that's it for me with firefighting. And I knew your sister, and we've known each other from speaking engagements. And that's the day that I said, okay, I'm done. I called you, I think, that day.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great career. And I think there's so many transferable skills. You know, I remember when COVID hit and I was like, well, why am I being so strategic? I'm like, okay, we need to focus, and where can we make an impact and be a raft builder? I was like, this is normal. And then people around me like, I don't know what to do. Freaking. I was like, oh, I realize it's because I come from a family of first responders, right? Like it is a thing. Like it helps you deal with stress and be of service. So I think there's so many transferable skills that maybe on the surface we wouldn't see, right? Dealing with chaos and stress and things like that can happen in real estate. So would you say, again, I want to be conscious if somebody's come on here saying, you know, I have another career, maybe they're at a 9 to 5, they're part-time in real estate. Would you say for you, like I'm a big believer in tipping the scale. So was it that you tipped it enough where you could at least make what you made as a firefighter or more to give you the confidence to move? Or was it opportunity, size of database? Like what would you look for to do that confidently?
For me, I just set myself up with a goal where if I made double my income on the real estate more than 3 years in a row, I knew that I could take it so much further. And I ended up doing significantly more than that. So it was just the confidence. Like, I mean, a lot of people kind of shame this like part-time realtor thing. And I think it's not the worst thing in the world if you're new, because I know being new can be stressful. And it's like, I get a lot of people that call me and like, oh, I wish I could work for you, but I'm only part-time. And I said, okay, that's not the worst thing in the world if you're able to properly manage time and then get to a point where you're able to jump full time.
Yeah.
Confidently.
I agree with that. I think it's like anything else in the industry and in any industry, you know, we have people who are new and part-time for 20 years, either when it comes to expertise, mastery, or volume. And then we have people who move out of it and do phenomenal, amazing things, right? And they gain skills and leadership and all those great things that contribute to us. And I think right? Like it's just perspective. So I wanted to get to that part first, because obviously when we met, and I'm going to go through this part a little bit, not when we met, but when we started to discuss coaching, because I don't remember when or how we met, probably at events. So I want to go through this part a little bit quicker, because you already were transitioning, or like you said, had just made the decision to go full time into real estate. So these were your goals at that point: help create better systems, structure the business more like a business, hold accountability, tell you when you're wrong, which was interesting. I want somebody to tell me when I'm wrong, right? That could be a scary request, but good. Get rid of shiny object syndrome, help with business planning, budgeting, and you needed more structure. So this is where you were at. Do you want to quickly talk about here? Because I know you said you went from a full-time career into real estate. You went from a team to changing the team. You went to a brokerage to a new brokerage, and then you went to Mexico. So there's lots of pieces here. You made some brave decisions with your team too around this time. Do you want to share any advice or insight?
Yeah, I think like, I mean, my coach, the biggest thing for me was, and I think a big issue for a majority of realtors, is they don't understand that, you know, you're an entrepreneur and you're running your own business. And there's a difference between being a business owner and just like a regular realtor. And in order to scale your business and see significant levels of, you know, increased GCI, I think you need to understand that you're running a full business, and most don't. So I needed help with just organization and tracking, which we've gotten a great hold on thanks to you guys. But I went from having a team of 22 agents at one point, and it was just chaos with like we had systems. I've always been fairly system oriented, but like nowhere near where I should have been. And
Okay.
I realized after having that team of 22 agents for like maybe over a year and a half, I sat down with my coach, we ran the numbers, and we realized it's not even profitable. And I don't know if people even take the time to look at their business like that, but we did that, and we analyzed the business and realized that having 22 realtors work for me was not even a profitable decision. It looked really cool on Instagram, and it looked really cool for social media that I had this big team. But in the grand scheme of things, it was zero profitability. I actually probably lost money with all the stuff I paid for the team. So they helped me scale my team back to now we're at 6 agents. And yeah, when I joined, I felt really bad for my coach, and I'm still like, I'm super all over the place. I'm always trying to think of new cool things. And my coach has been so good at being like, man, okay, like, all right, take 15 steps back here. Like, you said this one thing, let's do this one thing before we do the 15 other things. And for me, I changed brokerages. I went from like a rev share based model brokerage to traditional brokerage. I left my career of 10 years of firefighting, and I moved to Mexico. So like it was a lot. And my coach was just, thank God I kept the coach with me. There was times where I'm like, I don't need a coach. And then I'd do my call and I'd be like, thank God I have this coach, because it'd be chaos. But yeah.
And when we're in it, it's hard to see it. And I think you probably can see there's business owners nodding their heads, right? Because even when the economy shifted the last couple of years, I mean, I know a lot of team leaders and business owners who were investing in to take care of and make sure their people were consistent, and sometimes to the detriment. And I mean, if your business wasn't profitable in a good market, there's no way you could do, like, it'll take everyone down, right? So these are really important conversations. You really learn your model in a tough market, that's for sure. And shout out both to Stacey Prier and to Marissa O'Brien, amazing coaches within our team. So I want to make sure when you're hearing coaches that we're giving them full respect that they deserve. So we already just talked about this, adjusted the team, went international. So we know where that is at. And core systems that you focused on, whether you knew they were called this or not. Sometimes guys like, I didn't know, I just did the steps. But again, that inside out method, getting clarity, leverage the genius model to help us really flow into where we're good at things. We find joy, we find fulfillment, and learning how to get organized and leverage off the other pieces, because often we're just doing too much. And that's why we feel pulled in so many different directions. It doesn't work for us or our businesses. Accountability, Dave, I know you've worked on scorecard with the team, one-on-one meeting structure to make sure that you're supporting their growth. And you mentioned moving into a place of more calm. So we call that chaos to calm leadership, and working on your SOP, right? Standard operating procedures, make sure everything is documented. This is just a template we work with to start and support our clients to have a start, but we have templates to go through all of that. Is there anything else in this list or anything else that you would say is vital systems wise that you've worked on in this last year to support the transition that you want to share? Did I miss anything?
I think the biggest thing, honestly, was just like tracking my business. I talk about this a lot on my social media. If people don't know me on here, it's like, I just am so strict with my tracking down to like, because you're not running a business at that point if you don't know the KPIs of your own business. It's like, how many phone calls am I making? How many phone calls are translating to appointments set? How many of those appointments set are translating to actual deals closed? How much income's coming in versus how much income's going out? What I'm spending to earn more income. We worked on this to really have something so structured that at any moment I can open a screen and I can see every single aspect of my business, where every dollar is going, where I'm at, how close I am to my goal, how, what I need to do to change that. And not only is that this really helped me, understand my business, but see the holes in my business and then allow me to make changes to overcome those issues. Like, for a while there, we were seeing a ton of appointments set to maybe not so many listing appointments being closed. And then we had to realize, okay, maybe it's something I'm saying in the listing appointment. Maybe it's something but I would never have understood that issue of my business if it weren't for, properly understanding the analytics of my own business.
Yeah. And and often when we go to track, sometimes we realize, oh, wait, we don't have a client journey, right? So what am I tracking? What are the stages in the client journey? And then how do I set up the CRM without the stages? And how do I assess where to use the tracking and which systems do I need per stage? And I think, you know, without a client journey, we're really leaving our businesses up to luck, which is difficult to do. Again, if the economy shifts, it's the strong business structures that might still be challenged, but they'll survive and they'll grow after. The ones without the strong structures are the ones that we see, unfortunately, leave the market, which is really too bad. So I agree on all of the data that we need. And so at this point, we've already said it, so let's say quickly, but goals or what you've accomplished, results. You switched from a great brokerage to another absolutely great brokerage. I know Sage, and I've only ever heard amazing things where you are now. So you moved brokerage, downsized the team, moved to Mexico. I believe you're licensed in Mexico specifically. Melissa and Mercedes, are you both licensed in Mexico as well?
It just works very different in Mexico, depending on which area you're in. Technically, in the area we are in, you don't have to be licensed, but the developers that we work with, they have their own sales team that is registered. So the transaction flows through their actual team.
Excellent. Okay, fantastic. I wondered because I know there's different setups. And Dave, you're still maintaining your business in Toronto. You're getting into development project, which we will hear about a little bit more in a second, and continue to streamline your system. So at this point, I mean, you're both at the place where you're growing your team. Our industry icon community is for team leaders, brand leaders, and you're both moving forward in that. So at this point, what I want to do is stop sharing my screen because we want to hear about what you're doing in Mexico. And Melissa and Mercedes, Melissa, I'm going to start with you. I mean, I think, again, I can't say enough, like you're a powerhouse leader, you know, you're doing all these different projects, you're doing amazing things. And I think it's such a testament to what's possible. We don't need to build one business. We can build many businesses, and we're capable of doing so many things. And I think once you got clarity, you've just built this beautiful vision that you're going to now, you already are filling, but you'll continue to do that. I mean, I look forward to a year from now having a conversation with all three of you and seeing where you're at. So Melissa, tell us a little bit, and Mercedes, if you want to jump in, of course, but tell us about some of the projects. Tell us about why Mexico, like bring us to what you're doing.
So we actually have quite a few projects now and quite a few that are coming out very soon. I'm going to focus on probably just 2 projects today, but I also really want to show you the growth of the area that we are in Merida. It is considered one of the safest, or actually the safest city in Mexico. You can obviously do your own research on it, but it's just an amazing spot. So we are going to focus on 2 projects. They're both condo projects. One is by the beach. The other one is more towards the city. I don't know, Mercedes, if you want to throw anything in as well.
Yeah, so we have kind of 2 different price points too. So so if you have anybody that's interested too, it's a good product that you guys can kind of pitch to your clients as well. So we have lots of investors that are interested in the inland projects because the price point is very attractive, 185,000 Canadian to 235,000 Canadian. And that's being right beside a Costco, right beside a hospital, right beside a Walmart. Literally everything is within a 10-minute radius. So it's a very, very attractive location. Then our beachfront is starting around 400,000 Canadian. So Mel will kind of delve deeper into the photos, renderings, and locations.
Perfect. Can I share my screen? Is that okay?
Yep, you should be all set.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, can you see it? Okay, amazing. So this is just, again, to show people the project within the city. Again, like Mercedes just said, there's Costco, there's Walmart, there's Sam's Club. When you get into restaurants, there's very high-end restaurants. You also have your regular McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Starbucks. literally everything is there. So what I love seeing is the growth. So this is Merida through time. So you'll see this is 1994, and you'll also almost see like a little ring around the city. And focus on that ring. This is now 2004. So 10 years later, you can see the growth and the ring is kind of disappearing. Then you'll see 2020, a lot more growth. And you'll also see the airport towards the center and then more down. And then this is 2024. So if you go really fast, you can really just see the growth over the years. So the areas that we are focusing on, they call it the diamond zone. And that's the zone there. And in red is one of our projects where it's located. So this is probably about 25 minutes from the beach. You'll see the beach right up at the top. And then these are also projects that are also on sale or up and coming. So that's the industrial zone where you'll find a lot of the big companies. And then that's like the middle class area. So the area that we are focusing on, it's mainly for Mexicans or people who have, I would say, more money within that area that we're selling right now. So this was just something to show the cost of living from Merida, and I would say more so Toronto. It's just way cheaper down there. Like the Canadian dollar and even the US dollar gets you much, much further. I know other parts of Mexico are very different, but specifically in Merida, it is much cheaper. And I know, like, I'll give you an example. When we go out, there's probably about 6 of us at the table at a very, very nice restaurant. And what would cost us probably about $1,000 or more here, if you go to a nice restaurant, will probably cost you about $300 to $400 there. It's just significantly lower. And you're not sacrificing anything, as Mercedes has said before as well, because you literally have everything that we have here, you also have there. So the lifestyle, in our opinion, is maybe, if not better. So I want to get into, I don't want to go through the whole, these are just past projects. This is the most recent project that was sold out and now closed. All of the clients are in there. People who did investments, they made a great return on investments. We had one client that did 53% on his investment in just 18 months. And Mercedes also, if you're okay with me saying it, but she also owns in this project. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, so this is one of the projects that we have right now that we're selling. It's called Monarca, and this is in that diamond zone that I was showing you earlier. And it consists of 1 and 2 bedroom units. And then it has amenities. It has a co-working space, a party room. It has a pool up at the rooftop, a barbecue area. And on this project, the units start at $180,000 Canadian. So that will get you a 1 bedroom, and you'll see the different levels. There's 3 different levels that the units are on. What we like about this developer, on almost every single project, the bottom floor, they have pools. Those ones are all sold out. And then you'll just see the other levels. The pool is on the 2nd level there. And this is just what you would get in a typical 1 bedroom. And you'll also notice the square footage on these projects are fairly good as well. And then the 2 bedroom, again, you're getting pretty good size units. I don't know, Mercedes, if you want to throw anything. This is the construction. It's way more far along right now. We were just there last month. The structure is actually up now, but this was back in February. One thing about Mexico, they move very, very fast. They have, I think it's, what is it, 18 months or 20 months to make sure that they get everything up. Otherwise, the builder, the developer, they'll get serious penalties. So, you know, when you put your money down with it in like 2 years, you're going to get the product delivered.
Yeah.
This is another beachfront project that we have. This one is Cabo Corral. And again, this footage was probably, I think, from April. It's way more developed now. We were just there again last month, and you'll see structures up. But that one's very beautiful. It's right by the beach. It's going to have a beach club. And these ones, they start from around $400,000 Canadian, and then it goes up from there. The very nice thing about this project is every single unit has this view, the beachfront view. So they made sure, you know, everyone has that same view, no matter what level you are on. The units also start, I think it's from level 3. So you want to make sure, they wanted to make sure that everyone has that beach view, which is very nice. They also had plots of land, but that all sold out. And this one is going to have 3 towers, and we're selling tower 1 now. They were also thinking about doing fractional on this building. I'm not sure that that's something that they're going to do now on this project, just because sales are going really well. But we do have another project that will be coming out this year that is also going to be beachfront, actually just right next door. And that one will have fractional if anyone is interested in that. So it's very different from timeshare. You're not owning the time, but you actually own the property with the fractional ownership. So you own a fraction. What is pretty popular that we've seen there with fractional ownership, you'll get a lot of friends or family members that kind of group together, and they'll purchase that 1 unit together. So that's one thing that we've noticed in terms of fractional, what's popular in Mexico. But if anyone's interested in fractional, we will have that project out probably within the next, I would say, 2 months. They're working on it right now, the renderings.
Oh, excellent and beautiful. I mean, I'm always biased to the beachfront. I'm like, yes, take us to the beach. But
Yeah.
I know certain family members, even when we were in Mexico, they had been in Merida. They're like, Merida's the safety, the culture, you know, the established city. But I think the other side, and we're going to hear now with Dave, I mean, if you love, you know, spiritual experiences, and I think they both offer such beautiful, unique things. Like Tulum has that bohemian. I think Merida has that inherent, again, safety, local culture, like the arts. They offer so much in both locations, and they're different. So amazing opportunities. I mean, the numbers on these, I know we're going to get into that a little bit as well, but just to leave that as a point. So we're looking at 400,000 Canadian starting point to get in a project on the beach. And I think, did you say 140?
The other project, it's 180 Canadian.
180 Canadian. Okay, thank you for that. So that is Merida and beachfront within 20 to 25 minutes from there. And thank you for that. And Dave, we're going to bring you back to highlight beautiful Tulum, which is still top of mind because I was actually there when you were there in January. I just came home.
That's right. Yeah, I know. I remember I was doing our first Zoom call, and I was like, I saw palm trees in the background. Like, wait, I know that building.
Oh, that's right. We were both in Tulum and we didn't know. I was in
That's right.
another part of Tulum, and so is he, just a fluke.
That's right.
Yeah, funny. That's true.
Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yeah, please go for it.
Okay. So I'm gonna break this down just super quickly, and I can rant about this for hours, and I won't. So I'm gonna break it down to why Tulum, the buying process, and just some real numbers that you can see and take away. So that if you feel like you want to look for yourself, or if you want to promote to your clients or your database, you're able to. I can talk for hours about this because I'm so passionate about buying in Mexico and Mexico as a country. I won't get into all the economics of it, but I want to explain. I know no one can say yes or not, but if you've never been to Tulum, I highly, highly recommend it. If I zoom out here on a map so you can get your bearings, okay? This is Cancun, okay? Cancun is here. It's about a 2-hour drive away. You have Cancun, Playa del Carmen, which is about 45 minutes away, and then Tulum is all the way down here, okay? If you look at the size of the city, Tulum is brand new, okay? So much room for growth. It's incredible. It is such an undiscovered city because up until April of 2024, there was literally no airport. The only airport was Cancun, which was a 2-hour drive away. Most people go on vacation, it's 5 to 7 days. The last thing they want to do is get in a car, rent a car, drive 2 hours to go to another beach. Doesn't make sense. Very undiscovered, but Tulum now has its own international airport funded by the government, okay? Huge. The next thing is the train station. Actually, I probably say it wrong because you said it really cool, Melissa, but Merida, there's a train station that's connecting Merida all the way around the Yucatan, okay? So all the way from Merida, all the way to Cancun, to Playa del Carmen, to Tulum, and back across. The train stops right now at Playa del Carmen and is going to continue down to Tulum, which is going to increase tourism like crazy. We're at like the cusp of a crazy boom here in Tulum, where we maybe have another 2 years before prices get way out of control. Okay, it's a new city, 12 years old. It looks big. To put this in perspective, I live in Tulum right here. I shouldn't show everybody that. And then to go from city corner to corner is like a 6-minute drive. Okay, very, very new city. The reason why Tulum is going to blow up, okay? Airport, train station, it's a new city, branded real estate. So if you guys, not sure if anybody has followed this, but Tulum right now, if you've never been, there's no Costco, there's no McDonald's, there's no Starbucks, there's no anything. We have one grocery store, a few gas stations, and maybe a few stoplights, and that's it. Okay, there is now Nobu Hotel has announced their 30th hotel chain, is already established, bought land, and building in Tulum. Their 30th, the Nobu Hotel. Four Seasons has bought land. Faena has bought land and began building. Shangri-La, Toronto, same company, has bought land. All in this area here too. There's a school coming called the Green School. It is #1 rated school in all of the Americas coming to Tulum. It's a private school called the Green School. Incredible. I'm trying to get through this so I know I can bore people with this. There's no resorts. Why I like Tulum as an investment for Airbnb numbers specifically is that there are no all-inclusive resorts in Tulum to compete with. When you're looking at investing in a Caribbean city, obviously that's something you have to keep in the back of your mind, that you're getting into the hospitality industry when you own an Airbnb, okay? Now, if you're buying in Playa del Carmen, you're competing with the Riu, the Hilton, all these all-inclusive resorts that in low season can dominate you in numbers, and you can never compete with them. It's impossible. Their numbers are too good, and it makes it so much easier for someone to go sit down on the beach and enjoy, all you can eat food for the same price as your Airbnb. Tulum, we don't have that issue. Okay. You also own property in Mexico. People forget this. People are like, oh, what are the numbers? Numbers are very important. You own property in Mexico. You should be excited about that. We pay realtors. Okay. I'll pay referral fees. If there's any realtors in here looking, you have clients, you're unsure of how to navigate the market, I'll pay you referral fees. We pay 30% cash, US dollars. So it's good money. The buying process. I wanted to show you some stuff through here. Okay. I'll show you some projects, but the buying process, and again, Melissa and Mercedes, chime in if you have more information. The buying process is you have to buy through a trust account called a fideicomiso. Okay. As a foreigner, Mexico banned foreigners from buying land 50 kilometers within the beach and 100 kilometers within the borders. That's the only places foreigners want to buy land. So our legal loophole through here is buying through a trust account. Very briefly explained, you own the trust is held in the bank, you own the trust account. Okay, you own the trust owns the land. Straightforward. It's not a land lease. You can sell, you can renovate, you can rent. It's your property. Okay. Most of the projects you see are pre-construction. It's very rare you see resale opportunities in Mexico. Tulum specifically, sorry. There's just too many good projects coming up. Payment structures. Now, a lot of people are wondering about like cash. Like, how do you buy? Is it a cash transaction? Can I get a mortgage? Okay. Yes and no is the answer. So, for example, this project here, I can show you pictures all day, and I won't. But this project here is offering developer financing. Just one example, many examples of offering developer financing. Basically, and this one too. This is the house here. This house costs $420,000. The builder is offering 60% builder, no application financing at 9 years at 10%. Okay. So a lot of builders are offering in-house financing with no application. You put down 40%, builder will finance the rest. If that doesn't work for you, we have also financing options here. And they offer, let's see, did I pass that? Free construction. Okay. So this company is the only company I've found in Tulum that, other than I think Mercedes, you guys introduced me to one, but I haven't talked to yet. These guys offer 40% down, 11% interest, 9-year term. They cover financing or closing costs. You pay the 60%. Okay. Now, the reason that's important is because this is a pre-con transaction, so you have to keep that in mind. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I can't see them. I'm just ripping through it. Now I'll get into the fun stuff, the numbers. Okay, these are the houses you can buy. Like, just incredible. They're continuously evolving. The way they build with all natural resources. Like Chakum is a really big texture, like the polished concrete look, all wood from the area so it can sustain the heat and the humidity. They use like Cat 5 hurricane windows. There's not that many hurricanes there. People think it hurricanes every week. It doesn't. This house right here is $432 US. Peak season, as of right now, Tulum is very seasonal. Okay, there's highs and lows. Peak season is November, December, January, February. Those months, this house you'd probably get anywhere from 800 to 1500 US per night at like between a 80 and 95% occupancy rate, peak season. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit more about like what this looks like. So can everybody see this okay? The numbers, or is it too small? It's good. Okay. Keep in mind, these numbers are crazy. This guy bought an $899,000 home, okay? US, big house, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 600 square meter lot. Villas are very rare in Tulum. There's a lot of condo options, a lot of condo supply, not that many villas. So right now, villas are just absolutely dominating Airbnb, and I'll show you some real numbers. This is a real pro forma, okay? His average daily rate on Airbnb is $708 US at an average occupancy rate of 88%. That means his annual rental income is $227,000, 409 US dollars annually. Of course, we have to calculate our expenses. Property tax in Mexico, or in Tulum specifically, very low. 1870 this is a 600 square meter lot. So the square feet thing, I'm not a math guy, so sorry. Square meters, okay? Big, very big lot. If you were to buy a condo, your taxes for the condo per year would be like $300 annually. Insurance, again, big house, $1,300 for the year. Condo would be maybe $200 for the year. You have your OTA fees, which is Airbnb takes a fee when you put your property on Airbnb. Electricity is expensive. They don't have forced air. It's standalone units. Property management fees. The number 2 biggest mistake every investor makes in Mexico, Tulum specifically, sorry, is they spend months, years researching the developers. They know everything about that developer, where they live, what they ate for breakfast, you know, how they pooped that morning. But then they go and get their asset and they Google property management Tulum, and they pick the first people they see, and it's such a big mistake. You need to work with a property management company, which we have, not me personally, but I can recommend you, that will take care of your asset and handle it properly. Okay? They're going to take between 20 and 25%. It's just the norm there. So after everything, okay, the net operating income for this villa is $152,404 US dollars. That's an annual ROI of 13.85%, a cap rate of 13.85. That's strictly short-term rental numbers. This is not including your appreciation value. Tulum, obviously, majority of the sales are pre-construction. It's a very niche buyer that's picking up renderings, buying in Mexico. I understand the fear of buying in Mexico. I understand giving a developer you don't know $899,000 for a picture that they made on the internet. I completely understand that. That's why you're paying $432,000 or $899,000. The second that property gets built, constructed and finished, doubled in value, almost guaranteed. Because then people can come and see it and touch it and feel it and look around. It's super important. There was one more thing I wanted to show. Just cool houses. It's a lot of cool houses in Tulum. I can show all day, but the last thing I want to mention to you guys is that I pre-vet all the projects that I work with. So how it worked for me is I kind of fell into this situation where developers were approaching me being like, hey, can you send this to your clients? And I kind of created my own pre-vetting process where I would meet the developer in person. I would check out their already existing projects, and everything that I send to my clients and you people, if you want the information, has been pre-vetted by me. I know you don't know me, that means nothing, but have a little faith in David. All right. I'm looking out for you guys. There are projects that I genuinely believe in, that I genuinely will come to fruition. Everyone's biggest fear is giving someone money and nothing happens with it. Okay. In Tulum, the projects are privately funded. So it's extremely important you do this due diligence and making sure you understand that, Mestiza group's in here. I'll give you guys a shout out in a second. It's very important you do research on a developer. Okay. Mestiza group's in here. I live in their project number 1. There's so many good projects. If you're trying to find stuff on your own, it can be challenging because it's very overwhelming. There's a handful of good projects in Tulum. And when you find the good ones, they sell out quick because they have reputable builders, great reputation. And yeah, I can talk about it for hours. I won't. I think I did it. I think I got all the check marks on my things here. I think so.
Exciting. Thank you. And I want to make sure for both of you. So Dave, how can people reach you? Like, we're going to send follow-up email for how to contact you all, but just in case, if somebody wants information, I'll ask Melissa, the Mercedes, same thing. How should they reach out to you?
I can put my email in the chat, and then I'll also put my Instagram. Just send me a message on there. It's the Dave Hutch at the Dave Hutch. And I'm happy to send you my list, and you can. All I'll do is I'll send a big Google Drive of everything you'll need to send to your clients to help promote it. Post it on Instagram, post it on whatever platform you want. When you have clients, the best thing to do is set up a group chat with me and your client. I'm not here to steal your client. I'm very transparent about that. I'm very friendly. We work together to close the deal. And I'll keep you along the process, and we go from there.
Yeah, fantastic. So if you potentially in your database have clients looking in Mexico who might like to know about Tulum, might like to know about, I say Merida wrong too. So Melissa, you say it beautifully. But would like, would like to know about that. I mean, this is a great opportunity to send out to your database, have a referral. They're on the ground there and can support you. So just to confirm, Melissa and Mercedes, is it the same thing? You work with realtors here to support if they send you a referral for a project there as well?
Yes, the referral fees that we do is anywhere from 3 to 3.5% to the agent, depending on the project that's there. So they do get a referral fee. And again, we're not, like Dave said, we're not here to steal any clients, but if you have somebody that wants to purchase, we can work alongside with you to help them buy there in Mexico. And just like Dave said, we make sure that we vet the developers that we've worked with. Mercedes has had a relationship with the developers that we are working with for about 5 years now. And they've built many, many projects, and they're probably one of the most reputable builders in Merida. So 100% vetted, already delivered projects, clients that have made a great return on their investment as well. We do have numbers. I don't want to take up any more time, but I'm more than happy to send out the ROI sheets that we have on both projects. And I think Mercedes put our email and contact information in the chat, but we'll also send something out to everybody afterwards.
Absolutely. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to Mercedes and Dave and Melissa. Thank you so much. And leaving off, I wanted to say again, we're looking at it in our community, in our organization as the year of change, and change creates room for opportunity. I think some people hear year of change and they feel fearful or frozen. I call it a bobber or a sinker, but really it's making room for change and growth. And I think our guests today have really shown that we can do so much, with a dream or a vision overall. I mean, they've gone from part-time solopreneur, they had another full-time career, but part-time solopreneur in real estate, to international full-time teampreneurs working with their businesses, from part-time to international team brokerage and partnership for Melissa. So they made, big moves over the past year that I think are possible for any of us. So we love working with people like Dave and Melissa and Mercedes and all the leaders in our community. And if you're thinking that you need the same clarity or you need some support, we work with individuals, those building their systems, as well as teams. We're going to be releasing a new program for top brand leaders, CEOs of brands and whatnot, that will be coming out this year as well. And I'm going to skip over our testimonial video, but I want to leave this up that if you need our help or you need somebody who's going to be sponsoring, supporting your dreams, we would love to chat with you. You can book a strategy call with us for free. So book that to chat with us, and please make sure you follow or connect with Dave and Melissa and Mercedes. I cannot wait to get to Merida and see the beach there and get back to Tulum. I can't say enough about how beautiful it is there. So definitely explore that. Thanks everyone so much for joining us. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Mercedes.
Thank you.
So much. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.